Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to this week update on our instruments. I'm your host, Dr. Peter. We are starting as usual with Dxy, and this is the weekly time frame. There is a whole lot going on in the market at this time, but again, we want to be on the right side of this trade. So I want to drag this instrument to the middle. Now, we are still aware of this correction on the weekly time frame, and we said that we need at least a minimum of 100% extension to the downside, which we are almost at. We are not there yet, almost at it. And at that level, we'll watch for whatever reaction that we'll see. Now, how do we know the right side of the trade? What we do know is that after an impulse, we should be able to see corrections, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. That is what characterizes the motive wave sequence. Also in the corrective wave sequence, it's that you see impulse correction and impulse, which is the three, or that you see what looks like a corrective wave as the first one, the second corrective, and the last impulse. So it depends on what we're looking at. But so far, when you see an impulse, we must be able to recognize what an impulse is. Like here, there is the first wave and the second wave. You can see it's corrective. It took time. Then this is an impulse. This is a pullback, an impulse. A small pullback here before we have this correction. So this is typical of correction. Of course, it could take our time. It took more than a month for this to unfold, and that could be very, very enduring when it's occurring. So the first impulse, the first correction, the second impulse, which is wave 3, and this is wave 4. And we are at the tail end of the last wave 5. And the last wave 5, then we now begin to see a series of, movements and corrections and consolidations that looks like it's taking our time. But even here on the weekly time frame, what can we see? Let me still shift this to the middle. On this last wave, you can see the first impulse to the downside, and this appears to be the second wave. And we say that this is like, to the downside here, it looks like a wave 3, the end of a wave 3. And for this one, we think is wave 4 or 5. Now, typical of wave 4 or 5, we know that wave 4, because it's the last wave, last corrective wave of 5, could actually encroach on wave 1 or come to the vicinity of wave 1. So if our wave 1 came down right here to end where we saw this green candle here, you can see it encroaches on that wave 1. So rightfully so, it might not obey. It might even get to up to 40, close to 50, because it's wave 1. So that explains what we saw here. It went so high up, before we saw this move. Now, I believe that this looks at an impulse, which is going to be the last wave here. And this last wave, of course, we will expect it to also come down in 5-wave sequence, either as a triangle or as anything. It's going to come down as a 5-wave sequence. So we almost see it eroding these two daily weekly candle. Just one candle almost eroding two weekly candle. But we're going to see the inside of it and see what we are, doing at the moment. But a break out of here, out of 98.9, let's say 99, tells me that there's a change of trend. But for now, this is where we have our resistance. Weekly resistance on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, where we were going up was dragging up, and also on the time frame we saw that, okay, maybe we are going up, and this is going to be a much more bigger correction. This is the wave 4, and this is the wave 1 here, down here, of the wave 5, and this is wave 2. So we can see that encroachment here, encroaching here, and this looks like a wave 3, like a 3-wave format of 5, whatever, down here, and this appears to be wave 4. But now, looking at this one, we are taught that probably we'll have a small correction and we go up, but this is impulsive. When you see moves like this is highly impulsive. Even on the daily time frame, it's apparent that it's highly impulsive to the downside. When you see a move like this correction, this correction, this correction, and the last move, you see too much of correction here. 1, 2, 3, one correction, the second correction, this one, and this last move. But with this move, it all just came down at a goal. On how many days? Flash to the downside with little or no correction, except this one in here. So this is impulsive. And these being impulsive also make it most unlikely that we are going to break the top now until we finish this as a 5-wave sequence to the downside. Now, going to the 4-hour time frame on the DXY. So we believe that we are going to the downside now. On the 4-hour time frame, we can now begin to see here what exactly is printing. This came down as the first move, and this is like the second wave. And after this correction here, what we had seen so far is nothing but pullback, an impulse, a pullback, an impulse, probably a small correction, and the last move. Now, it appears as if we may have finished this move to the downside and we are having a much more bigger correction. Are we at the end of that correction? It's another thing entirely. So what we can do is that if this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, now the extension here fits in at about 1618, exactly 1618. So it may be an A, B, C, but again, with this magnitude of movement, could it be an X that will have a WX and will break to the upside? We'll see if that is what it's all about, but it looks less likely because this is the X here. The first WXY here, it has broken this X here. So which looks like the momentum is shifting to the downside. But here too, they could make this a double correction. So this appears to be, at this point of this correction here, appears to be the resistance for now here. Resistance number 1 and resistance number 2. So we don't even need to get here before we know that we are breaking up. This is the resistance that we don't expect this price to break now. 98,500 area is where we don't expect this to break, even if they decide to make this a double correction. But for now, we may be going down. We may be going down to break the bottom again. But we'll see how far this one is going to go. If it goes in a corrective fashion, then we'll take it that it's going in a corrective fashion. But for now, if you are in, just manage your stop loss and let's see how this one unfolds. Once we take out this area to the downside, then we are going in down to the downside again. So we need to take this low and break properly low before anything else. So I will take this as the first wave here, then wave 2, wave 3, and of this move, and this going up may be wave 2 of this third wave before we have a bigger move to the downside that will take the bottom. So we are edging close to the end of this. And if we go on the 1 hour time frame, let's see what we get on the 1 hour time frame. We'll see how this one turns out. If it's corrective without taking this, maybe around this area, without breaking this area, we'll see how this one turns out. It could be corrective. The first wave, the second wave, the third. Let's see how it goes. If they want to take it up, they will spend more time consolidating without breaking 97,400, without breaking that area. Then they could turn it up again, without taking 98,600 or 580 before they take it down. So for now, let's just sit on it. A whole lot will be happening here. And if not, it may just have been completed. The correction to the upside may not be completed, but if they decide to make it a double, we will see, and we'll take in more position to the downside. If we look at euro dollar, it's the same. So we had seen euro dollar break. This is the X here, WXY. It's corrective. It's corrective. If you really want to see that it's actually corrective, let me quickly turn to the weekly. Then you can see this move, the first move, the correction, the pullback, wave 4. And what we are seeing here is motive sequence to the upside. This may be a wave 1, 2, and this may just be a wave 4 of this move. And we are in for the last wave 5 to the upside. And it's almost even breaking the top that we have done so far. One single day candle almost eroding, one single week candle almost eroding 2-week candle here. So once we break, we are almost at par with it. Once we break this, then we just need to do one more up before we come to the downside. We are all edging close to the end of this move before we see a much bigger correction. If not changing the old trend, it's going to be a much bigger correction to the downside. So on the day time frame, so you can still see is an impulse. This looks corrective compared with this. It's an impulse, without even seeing any red until now. So you can see this pullback, series of corrections and all of that. So it's an impulse. And now if they want to do a double here, probably they will take it down more. But for now, we'll see what it gives us. On the 4-hour time frame, so it seems to be going up now. So they can make it, this looks like an A, B, C. Once we take the B, we need to break 17,600 to the upside before we know that probably we are going up again. But at the same time, this looks like an A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 3. So if we are correcting this to the downside as a double, we should not take out 16,150. We should not break 16,150 area or 160 area. So if this is going to be a double, but otherwise, yeah, they may have finished the correction. So, but let's see how this turns out to be. It could be a WX, and if we're going to have a Y led to the downside, we will know. But for now, I think we are going back to the upside. Pound USD, Pound USD, it's the Pound USD looks like it has topped already. This looks very corrective. Looking at this move, it's impulsive to the downside. So Pound USD may have topped. We may not be going up to break the top again, as we're going to have with Euro USD. I think it's the beginning of a much bigger correction to the downside that we are seeing here. This moves look sluggish and labored movement up to this point. So this is impulsive. What we may be seeing here, it's probably seeing a correction and also a break to the downside. That is what's the mood I'm picking from here, even on the 4-hour time frame. I'm picking the mood of, we see a correction for a further break to the downside. That's the mood here. We may have topped here. NZD USD. NZD USD still looks bullish. Now, with this movement, probably we're going to have a double correction. So I think this may be a wave 1, a wave 2 in the middle here because of the double top, a wave 2 in the middle here. And this is probably a 3-1. Maybe we'll be seeing a 3-2. This may actually go up from here to break the top. And if we get a double correction to the downside without taking this low, we'll take another buy position to the upside. That is what I can see here on NZD USD. So we may be running an ABC to the downside. And if they want to take it low and break down, we'll see. But this looks like it's going to go up. Probably we finish an A and a B and a C to the upside. But again, without breaking this top, they could still take this one to the downside. If that will happen, if that will be the case, we'll see. USD GPY. Now, this is still, we have to be very careful now. This may take the top. If it breaks the top again, then it will come to this area before it goes down. So we should be expecting a move if it breaks the top. Otherwise, they might just go down from here. And they may have topped from here and decide to take it down. But there's still that possibility for it to break up, to grab more liquidity. Without breaking 152, it should begin to fly to the downside. That's what I can see here. If we break the top, then without breaking 152, it should come down. So let's just exercise more patience with USD JPY. The same thing with Euro JPY, Euro yen is trying our patience. It's trying our patience. They may want to take the top, but it might not. It might just kiss the top and begin to come to the downside. So this is a labored movement to the upside. The yen or the peers are here to take positions to push prices downside. Maybe we are going to see that this week. I don't know. But even if they want to go further up without breaking the top, they should give us a bigger correction to the downside, and would plan what we'll do with this trade. But on the weekly time frame, on the daily time frame, that's what we'll see. We may have finished it with 3 completely, and probably this is the 4th wave of this move. And in here, we may probably look for 5-wave sequence, and that may end the move. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, this may be an ABC of the last wave 4, and this may be a wave 1 of the last 5 waves, wave 2, probably wave 3. We need to see a wave 4, one more move to the downside, and probably to have a truncation or not before we come to the downside. So if I bring out the drawing here, so we can see a clear break out of this wave, tells you that wave 3 has ended here. So 1, 2, and a clear breakout of this trend tells you the end of wave 3 and probably the wave 4, and this should be the last wave 5 here in this coloration. So, but we'll see what it gives us. That's a breakout of here. So we'll see what it gives us. So the last one is gold. Like we said, gold is in a triangle, trying to form a triangle. I think the triangle pattern is almost completed now. And you can see that it is clearly in a wedge. In this kind of a move, I think it is a ascending wedge where we had seen these top almost unmoved, but is now wedging up. Is wedging up, and the triangle, that's to be 5, 1, 2, 3. This is ABC of the first wave, which is A. Then this looks like a B. This looks like a C. This to the upside looks like a D. And this move, which looks motive, I expect to be motive wave, looks like the E. So without this E breaking down here, without it breaking 3311, or yes, without it breaking 3311, we may see price back up. It now depends on what this is going to do. So we have to be very careful. So the point to break is this area now. 33.77. If we see a daily candle close above 33.77 area, then we are going back to the upside to continue. So far, even though it has looked like a 1-2 and 1-2, but I think it's forming more perfect like a triangle for a break. If you think this is impulsive in a triangle, it's just the last part of the triangle, and the price may just go all the way up to break the top and continue its move. So you have to be very careful. So there are areas that would turn this to a bearish move again. Ultimately, a break below 32.83 now indicates a bearish sequence. That means we are going more bearish. The first point is this area of 33.10, which we shouldn't expect price to break. But if price should break here, then it becomes 33.85 or 83, no, 32.83, then it becomes really bearish. But a break outside of here, like I said, to the upside with a daily candle closing across 33.80, then we are back bullish. So that's the triangle pattern in between A, B, C, D, and E. So we can see that for the first time after B, it broke B, D to the upside, you know, like a fake breakout, but we are coming to the downside. Now, if this indeed is a triangle, like I said, we shouldn't take this low. If indeed it's a triangle, we should not take this low. 33.85 should not be taken if we are indeed, because this will be a cluster of resistance here. I don't expect it to break this area, like I said. But if it is a triangle indeed, we don't expect the E to take more than 61.8 of a D wave. So this is a C, a D wave. Right from here up to this point, it shouldn't take 618. And I think 618 is around 33.18. That's 33.18, and this is 33.10. So this is an important area. The price is already reacting as we are seeing. So we need to see how this one would react to the upside. It's reacting already, but we need a more push to the upside. On the 1 hour time frame, it's still dragging. It's still dragging. So we need to clearly break out of here, out of 33.50 or 49, for the price to indicate that it's going to come up here to take this 33.77 area. So with that, I've come to the end of today's analysis, or this week analysis. Be more careful, know what level you don't want to engage this trade. So see you next week. Bye. Do like, share, and comment, and also send this to your friends, the link to your friends, to also subscribe to grow this community. Bye.